Hello, this is Michael Enso with Advertising Report Card, and this report card is for a very cool company called Great Baby. So before we get started, just a quick overview of how the report card works is that this is your video review. We're going to do an in-depth walkthrough of everything that we found and all the items that we wanted to address as far as getting you started with your marketing campaign. It is important to reference that this is a company that does not have campaigns running currently, has ran some campaigns in the past, but overall, this is going to be a fresh start. So looking forward to hopping in. Let's get started. First of all, with PPC, the main thing that we want to look at here out of the gate is that this campaign ran on Google Ads Express. And while Google Ads Express is a great program, it's really meant for those who don't have the ability to really dive deep into the PPC strategies available. The problem with that is that Google will try to spend your money as quick as possible and as efficiently as possible in their words. And what ends up happening with the Express campaign is the ads really aren't as good as they could be. This is a quick highlight of the 3 different strategies actually found inside of this industry. As you can see up top, we have Google shopping ads, and then we have regular Google ads. So the shopping ads are going to have your images, your pricing, and they're going to link directly to your store. On the Google search ads, you're also able to add a little bit more to the ad extensions. Sometimes you can have actual call to action buttons. And then below, you have a Google Ads Express ad. As you can see here, this is the smallest type of ad that you can actually create. This is Google just taking what you have thrown into the campaign builder in order for it to produce those ads. So the ads don't look so great. If you go to actual Google and you look for other products as well in the same industry, it's almost a continuous trend of the companies having the shopping, then actual ads, and then the express ad. So the first thing that comes to mind on this is sophistication in the industry. The competition isn't as strong as it could be. Also, it's interesting to see that the person who's running the express ads is also running shopping ads, which is another strategy that we're going to discuss. But in the end, it's really important that we look at dominant placement when it comes to Google results. Caden Lane, Caden Lane, Caden Lane. So keep that in mind as we move forward. This is a perfect example too of good placement, but also this ad right here is not good because it's extremely small, does not utilize Google's full features. It doesn't have site links and other features. The good thing that they have right now is this review-based product. Another huge competitor in the space is Aubrey and Bear. The thing that's interesting about this is Aubrey and Bear actually has the most dominant social strategies, but clearly they are lacking on the PPC side. So again, based on the competition, there is definitely room to move into this space as a company with maybe not as much reach and still have a fair shot at doing pretty well in the space based off of how the competition is running their ads. So as we move our way down, the other thing I was going to mention is the Google Analytics setup. This was something that we were not given access to. Reason being is that maybe there was some confusion as to how it was set up or where it was set up. But this is definitely attached to the Google Ads campaign. Now, with Google Ads Express, setting up analytics is a piece of it, but what happened here looks like is some type of direct integration because on the back end of the site, I didn't see where this was set up, but Google Analytics is absolutely set up through this PPC campaign. And what we can see here is some general stats of performance as how things went, how much was spent, how much the ad was shown, how many times it got clicked, and how many conversions it had. And it appears here that we had a lot of new traffic. People were on the site for more than a minute on average. So either we had a pretty good average time on site, or there's a couple of people who shopped around a lot and a bunch of people who bounced. That's typically the case when you have a low page view number and then also just a lower overall time on site. And then you can also see that while there were certain things tracked, we're not sure what product is. We don't know what this is exactly as far as a conversion, but what is clear is people who went to the shopping cart and then people who moved to checkout. Now, what we don't have here is a tracked purchase. So maybe checkout is the purchase. Again, we're not clearly sure on this because of the lack of the history on how this was set up. And the main thing going forward with this is making sure that everything is very clear how it's set up on the reporting side, and that you're using these reports at least on a weekly basis or a monthly basis. Monthly is fine, depending on how much traffic you're doing. If you're really trying to drive high traffic, checking weekly just to see how things are going does help as well. So you can do tweaks as frequently as possible. But we're not exactly sure if this actually resulted in a sale. So what we do know is how the numbers broke down as far as, one second, I gotta move this out of the way. What we do know is how the numbers broke down on the performance between the campaigns on the spend versus the impressions. The major difference between these two campaigns is that the impressions numbers are very different, basically because this one was focused on specific states and this focused on the entire country. So we do have a lower cost per click, but that's because of the real expansive reach on the regional targeting and what that looks like on the actual settings of the campaign. One second. Right here, you can see here that we're targeting all 50 states in the US. So this is something that we're going to discuss as well as far as regional targeting goes. But as far as the performance goes too, on the one that wasn't national, it was just focused on a few states, the buttery soft baby swaddles. You can see that we had less product conversions, but we had more checkout and shopping cart conversions. And then as addressed just most recently, we had those different numbers there. So one thing that you want to look at as well on performance is not just the general stats, clicks, impressions, and conversions, but you also want to see what the cost is per step and the rate that those steps happen. So the cost per moving a product, I'm not, again, quite sure what this KPI is or what the conversion is being tracked, but you can see here that we had better results in the national campaign as far as products added. But you can also see that the people who were very interested in those products, only one actually added to the shopping cart. So while we might have had less product conversions, which could be looking at a product or engaging with the product, seems to be that this campaign may have been more direct, maybe not just off of the product itself, but I think the regional targeting played a role into this. And you can see that the cost per moving the checkout, 40 per checkout action. So these numbers are very high as far as the cost per action, and the rate is very low. So conversion rate in general on the site could be 3%, but when you see moving things to shopping cart at 1%, that's usually pretty low. You're going to want to see a higher rate than that because the amount of people that are going to buy the product are always going to be less than the amount of people that add things to the shopping cart. So if this is less than 3%, then you're already looking at what could be a potential problem as far as either the traffic you're driving, or there's going to be maybe some issues on the site as far as checking out that could be overviewed a little bit more. So that's the overall performance on the PPC side. With the summary, as far as the keywords go, there was a mix of focus when it came to the campaign. So while we're focusing on, hold on one second, while we're focusing on the buttery soft baby swaddles, what we end up getting when it comes to Google Ads Express is a lot of variations of what the baby swaddle is, and also some different things that can be categorized better. So we're going to fly through this one by one just to give a quick example. So custom baby blankets, absolutely a core target that we should be working after. Muslin blankets, this is for all types of people. You can have adult sheets, baby sheets. The actual spectrum of muslin blankets runs very wide. So to just go after this type of a keyword for this website is irrelevant. Sunflower swaddle, this is great because it mixes a product type or product category with the actual product itself, which is the swaddle. So sunflower swaddle, that's a pattern. Now, if you are confused as to what that might show up on Google, the best thing you can always do is turn around and Google it. And as you can see that there are a few different types of swaddles. We have a robe and swaddle set. And then we also have the custom with the baby name. And you can see Kaden Lane popping up again there and Kaden Lane popping up again there. So again, Kaden Lane has chose PPC as its dominant focus when it comes to being efficient. It doesn't have as well of a social strategy. Again, we'll go through that later, but there's a reason why Kaden Lane is investing in this space. because PPC is where intent is driven. When people want a specific thing, they're going to go to Google and start searching. So the main thing about PPC is it might cost a little bit more than social to drive traffic, but at the end of the day, it is going to produce sales because people have the intention to make a purchase when they go to Google and look for a product. In addition to that, at the very bottom, you can start to see some other related searches based off of what other people are searching. So this can also give you a good idea of keywords that we will be targeting if you were to decide to launch a PPC campaign. Let's hop back into the notes and then look at the ad copy and the ad text. So one thing in general about PPC is that a lot of people are searching for different things, and not all ads are written to tie into how people are searching for them. So the main thing is that we're going to want to have a lot of ad variations. Typically for every category that we're focusing on, we want at least 6 ads. So that means if we're doing swaddles for boys or swaddles for girls, just on that alone, you're going to look at about 12 ads. Reason being is that 2 to 3 of those ads are going to beat out the other 3. And when you pause out the ones that are performing less, you greatly increase the quality of that target. So it's very important to have multiple ads running and constantly be working on adding new ads based off of what's working. Search to the landing page, that also ties into how this campaign was structured. All traffic and all keywords were sent to the homepage. Problem with that is that the homepage itself isn't going to speak directly to what people are searching for. If someone searches for that sunflower swaddle, they need to go to a sunflower swaddle page where they can see all the sunflower swaddles. Even if it's just one product, then that should be the landing page, the product page. If there's a couple different sunflower swaddles, what I recommend is going into the website and filtering the feed to create a sunflower swaddle page and then use that as the landing page if we were, for instance, to target that specific target on the keywords. Likewise, we have swaddle set versus swaddle blanket. What's very key here is that people who are looking for a set aren't just looking for a blanket. They're looking for a blanket and an outfit, or a blanket and a headwear. So it's very important as well that as you are creating these categories and these subcategories on the PPC side, that you're splitting these out and not just making the ad copy relevant, but the landing page. Sending people who are looking for specific things to the wrong landing page is akin to ordering a pizza and wanting pepperoni, and when it shows up, it's sausage. Is it still a pizza? Absolutely. But is it what you ordered? Not exactly. So what you're going to have is a lot of people bouncing back off of the website because they clicked this ad and what was shown was not relevant to them. And then we also have some competitor searches sneaking in here. Competitor is a great way to target cheaper traffic because not all competitors bid on their own name, which is very important. Remember that. Not all companies bid on their own brand name. This is extremely important note to take into consideration. And then also, again, milestone blanket, a very niche product, very specific. This needs to go to the milestone blanket area. Again, these are all items that need to be split up. You cannot run these in the same campaign, or nevertheless the same ad group. These campaigns need to be broken up by the products that are being allocated towards, so that first of all, you know how much you're bidding for those individual products and the revenue you're generating off them, but also making sure that you're not combining a bunch of keywords and just spending frivolously without having the results tracked properly. Last but not least, generics. Customized baby gifts. Is this something we can go after? Yes, but it's very top of funnel. Somebody would search this when they don't know what they want. But if somebody searched for a custom baby or a personalized swaddle blanket, this person knows much more of what they're looking for. This is a more valuable search. So should both be targeted? Yes, but at different levels with different bids. So then that way you can turn off the things that aren't producing the revenue as time goes on and focus the rest of your budget towards keywords that are producing revenue. So again, I made a couple quick notes of that here just for reference. Boy versus girl keywords absolutely should be in different ad groups because people who are looking for boy stuff and girl stuff, they just have a different connotation in general. So if you can line up the copy with the landing page for boys versus girls, you're going to have a much better sale rate. And then also custom versus name. So custom is, custom. There's a lot of things that you can do that are custom. You can change the pattern, you can change the color, you can change the size, you can add a pocket. Name is somebody who's looking to put a name on something. That is very specific to a great baby because a lot of the customization is name driven. And then also just general blankets. All three of these are in the same campaign, but they're all very different and they should hold different priority, with name taking first priority, custom taking second, and general taking last. And another way you can think about that is a funnel. This is exactly what we want people to come to us for. This is people still trying to figure out what exactly they want custom, and these people don't even know what kind of blanket they want. Name is going to be the people who are going to be closest to sale for you. Another thing too is negative keywords. For any e-commerce search campaign, negative keywords are a super major key. Reason being is that there are going to be things that you don't want to show up for. Namely, let's say you don't want to compete with Saks and Fifth. You don't want to do a competitor campaign because while you can target their traffic and drive that traffic to your website, you might not be Saks and Fifth. People might be turned off by that. You can get sales from going after competitor keywords, but let's say you don't have the budget to go after them either. Adding a negative keyword list just for competitors alone will refine all the searches for people not necessarily tied or married to a brand that they're going to purchase from. And last but not least, regional. Always target cities and states that you're trying to focus on. Never hit the entire country with an ad. Reason being is that it's impossible to optimize for the entire country unless you just are not in interest of optimizing for specific regions. Reason being is that Alaska might not be someplace you want to ship. Same with Hawaii. For e-commerce, shipping can change drastically. Likewise, somebody might not have a budget in Iowa, but people in New York might consider this a cheap product. So you also want to look at your demographics and where you're going to be purchasing, who has the money for this type of product. In addition to that, maybe Miami Beach or Miami isn't making as many babies as, say, another area, like that's a little bit more suburban, or somebody who's in a demographic that hits the right age, income, and interest-based situations as people who are in different regions. So just food for thought. You want to optimize towards where your targets are going to be. So next thing we're going to jump into is the social ads. What I did is I went through all the competitors and I pulled a bunch of different ads together just to have kind of like a little lookbook of some different ideas that you can run with. Main thing too is that All Brand Bear has a significant social media strategy, which while not perfect, I think that there's some things that they could definitely improve. Out of all the competitors, they were the ones that had the most variations. They were running the most ads and they had the newest ads up. They already have ads that are brand new, a whole full set of them as of September. So I would say that one person to look at competitively is All Brand Bear when it comes to their social media presence, because as I had mentioned before with PPC, it's intent-based. People are going to make purchases, but it can get more expensive because you're paying cost per click. With Facebook, you're paying for 1,000 impressions. What that is called is CPM. So you can get cheaper traffic through social for this product, and there's ways that we can target people who are already in market to make this type of a purchase. But at the end of the day, you're showing ads on a news feed. People are looking at their friends and their family's posts. They're not necessarily shopping for products. So what Facebook could be considered as passive marketing, while Google is intent-based marketing, meaning that people have the intent to make a purchase. Another thing to point out, is in the market for your competitors, some are not advertising at all. This is a huge missed opportunity for a social platform that has an amazing amount of followers. I mean, look at that, almost 250,000 followers on Instagram, literally no ads running at all. I can't express to you how big of a missed opportunity this is for them, but what I can express is how big of an opportunity this is for a great baby, knowing that some of your biggest competitors that might have the biggest budget are not running ads at all, means that the market that we could target could be extremely affordable. So I find this to be a very lucrative sign that if this company is not running ads, then there's a huge opportunity for a great baby to move into that space without having to spend an arm and a leg to compete against the biggest entities. So the other thing I wanted to point out is Storkwares is running ads, but I wanted to point one thing out that's really about the viability of the strategy. Stork Ads has been running one of their ads since August 21st, 2018. This ad has been unchanged. Basically, it's just a generic ad, but the thing is, it includes not only what the promo is, but also a testimonial. Some ads, when you optimize hundreds of ads, one just sticks and works. Likewise, maybe there's really no one looking at this account and they're just keeping the ad running because it produces sales, but maybe over time the cost per sales increase and they just haven't optimized the ad. What this really says is that they're comfortable with just leaving this ad going, meaning that there's a few signs here. The ad could be a great one to emulate, but then also it just doesn't seem like competition in the space on social media is a huge threat. If this ad was getting burnt out or creating burnout with the audience, people would start ignoring it. Its performance would just completely crash. But for it to be running for 3 years, there's no reason why we shouldn't be running in this space as well. If a company can be this fortunate to not have to do any work on their advertising and still feel that this is a positive investment. Now, we're not able to see the ROI on this ad. That's a little bit more in depth, but main thing is that we need to enter this space on social ads, even if it's on a remarketing basis, just based off of the competition signals alone. So on the social competition and demographic opportunity, I just outlined that in this last piece that I mentioned, but here's like your little bullet points to refer on that. Main thing that we are missing out on is the remarketing campaigns. I actually included a link to a video of what I did of a breakdown of a remarketing campaign. It's extremely important that remarketing is up and running. Reason being is that what if somebody adds something to the shopping cart? Let me see if I can pull up that report again right here. What if somebody adds something to the shopping cart and they didn't check out? Or what if somebody looks or engages with a specific product in a specific way that we can trigger an event with our tracking code to then remarket to these individuals? What ends up happening is you have these extremely high cost per sales because while these people have engaged with the product, only one person checked out. So let's say if we remarketed to these people that were in this area and we got 3 more people to do a sale. The actual cost per sale drops down immediately to $20 per sale with a rate of 4.4%. The problem with not having remarketing is that this number will always be this number because we're not putting our hat back in the ring for taking another shot to advertise to that individual person. And what that's going to create is a huge gap in ad spend. So my main takeaway from this is do not spend money on ads unless you're at least going to have some type of remarketing on social media to try to capture and push these people back to what you guys are trying to accomplish, which is the sales on the website. And there's more detail here as far as the remarketing strategy in general. I mean, this is more of like the written note, but the main thing is bottom of funnel. When they're at that stage where they have something in the shopping cart, that is your highest priority to get them to check out. Whether you're sending them an SMS, an email through a different program, or serving them ads on Facebook to remind them or give them a coupon code, you have to have bottom of funnel covered. Now, thereafter, anybody who visits the site, you should be remarketing a promo to them, which you could consider middle of funnel, someone who's learned your brand at that point and knows who you are. So bottom of funnel, first priority for remarketing. Thereafter, anybody who visits the site, we should be serving them ads. Next is that with Shopify, catalog creation on Facebook is very easy. Without Shopify, it's very difficult. A lot of people do not do catalog ads based off of how their website is built. And the competition analysis, almost no one is doing catalog campaigns. And it blows my mind because working in a lot of different industries that have catalog feeds for e-commerce, or even if it's for a completely different industry like automotive or real estate, catalog campaigns are the biggest key to promoting all of your products in a very concise way. Reason being is that it's going to pull in all your products from your store, and then you can create micro sets or subsets of that catalog to then market back to people. As an example, let's say somebody goes to the site and browses through a bunch of products. If you serve them back an ad for a baby, a toddler, and then maybe something else, it might be kind of an eclectic ad. But if you have somebody look in specific subcategories and they only look at like one product for baby blanket and they bounce from the website, you can then serve them a promo with 3 different baby blankets automatically to them on Facebook, and you're going to get priority because they've already been to your site, which is a part of remarketing. But when they click any of those ads, it's going to go directly to that product page. So the catalog campaigns is also a must, and that ties into the remarketing campaign. Both of these things need to be incorporated into the campaigns. This is more of a technical aspect, but ad placements on the competitor side, most of what they're running is to just any placement that they can throw an ad into. This is very not effective, which also gives us an edge. The majority of the conversions take place on the newsfeed, and that's on Instagram and Facebook. You don't need to show your ad on the partner networks or on the story ads if it's not geared towards story format. That's Facebook's way basically of getting more money out of you running ads, because you're just showing your ad as many times as possible. And to remind, Facebook doesn't charge per click. There is a cost per click stat, but what Facebook charges for is by CPM, which stands for showing your ad 1,000 times. So if you have your ad across all placements, you're going to get dinged a lot more for your spend. So making sure that you isolate it on the newsfeed and then expand to the additional channels is very important. And also ages. Making sure that ages are broken down into various groups and focus the demographic. Who's having new babies, and then who has the income? What is the age range? And if the age range varies between 21 and 25, 26 to 30, 31 to 35, break out those ad sets, because what you're going to want to do immediately is optimize towards what group is going to be spending the most with your store. Not all age brackets are built the same. Same with not all income and demographics. And last but not least, on the creative side, image versus videos. It looks like almost 90% of all your competitors are just doing static images. They're not doing catalog ads, and they're not doing the most valuable type of ad on Facebook, which is video ads. As you can see with the emerging strategies with things like TikTok and Instagram, video is a key. If you're not running video ads, you're not truly doing social media marketing, because just having a static ad works. It's going to drive traffic and sales, but it's going to be more expensive. Reason being is that people engage with videos more. People watch the video more. And then once they watch the video, they're already a little bit entranced by what the product is before they click through to find out more. Images are good reminders of products. Like for instance, with catalog campaigns, those are going to be images, but it's going to show them things they've already seen. So you're having that mental recall that's going to bring them back to the site and have them feel a little bit more comfortable with the brand. As you might have heard, the 7 touches of marketing, you have to hit them 7 different times in 7 different ways. Remarketing is very effective, so you don't have to use video for it, but it's recommended. And again, you want to draw them in, show the value. And a big thing I saw on a Great Baby's Facebook page is that while there might not be a ton of high-end edited videos, something just like this video alone in remarketing could be beneficial. Just to remind people who you are. And this could also work on a prospecting side for people who don't know who you are. So there's a few different ads in here as well that might be good for this, these ones as well. And then also there's a chance of these additional videos, some of them, not all of them, being used as branding. So remarketing back to people who have either already shopped with you to keep them engaged with your product, or in general, just to do branding for people who haven't checked out but who have engaged with your product to create validation for your brand. What I have here is a list of social ad strategies. So without jumping into each individual one in detail, what we could do is prioritize these based off of what you think you want to do based off of your content. But first and foremost, how-to ads, just showing it's like swaddles for photography purpose, or like help a baby go to sleep, as an example of the ad here, or the video that was done here, sleeping better with swaddles, like how to make a baby sleep better. It could be an ad that reverse engineers a sales pitch for your product. Because instead of you just being like, hey, we have swaddles, it's how can you make your kids sleep better? And then, gear that content near the end towards promoting swaddles that work for that are on the store. Click here, see these swaddles that help your baby sleep better. That's the concept. Play and utility, using the creativity behind the products and show like how kids and how they use big blankets. And while it's something that they love, it's also something that provides some type of utility. Coming soon is great for breaking new products, keeping people entranced with what you guys are going to be launching. And if you already have some products on the store with new ones coming in, you can promote that page. So when people hit that page or that collection, you can remarket to them, especially when the new products hit. They'll see the remarketing ads. Likewise, you can always do pre-order with this strategy. But the main thing too is if you don't have a lot of new products or not a lot of new things keeping people interested, this is a great strategy if you have things on the way that you know people are going to want, but you might not have them on the site yet. Story mode is another great way too. It's like testimonials, but it's written from the perspective of a mother actually having to go through something and then having their problem solved. So it's more like a story versus just a flat out 5-star testimonial. And these are good things to mix into the ad copy. Charity is a great one as well because it's going to help focus on what you're going to be doing good for the individuals, and then product line prospecting, people have already purchased the product, incentive programs, what they'll be getting if they were to shop with you, and then also promote your mail letter. So that's the overall. We usually try to keep these videos at 30 minutes. You'll be getting this report, and then thereafter, let's schedule a call, hop on and discuss if you'd like to run this yourself, if you're going to be giving this to your agency, or if you'd like us to help with any of these things, we are happy to do so. Thank you very much, and I hope you all enjoyed this report card. Have a good day.